I heard you flexing on spaces.
I mean, not a bad week. I got a special surprise for you, Sean.
Ooh, I like surprises. What's happening, everybody? It's your boys, Chicago Sean, Steve Strazza, coming at you live. Strazza's back in Florida after a what felt like a worldwide trip up and down the East Coast, I'm sure, driving.
So happy to be home. Yeah, 24-hour ride. 12 hours Saturday, another 12 on Sunday.
And you did the whole drive. You had no help, right?
My girlfriend came, but you know what? I'd rather drive. She did about 2 hours, gave me a little relief. We were already in Miami at that point.
You trust her when she's on the home turf, I guess, huh?
Once I'm in the groove, I'm good. I'll keep driving, put on a good podcast. Did listen to Smartless. Meant to tell you.
Yeah. How'd it go? You liked it?
Yeah, listen to Michael Scott and Big Lebowski guy, Jeff Bridges.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. It's one of my favorite non-financial podcasts that's out there. It's just always good for some laughs and some light comedy. Yeah. And if you're a fan of Arrested Development, the old TV show from the early 2000s, like I am, there's a lot of nuggets in there.
What is that guy's name with the deep voice? Not
Will Arnett.
Yeah, he's great. He's hilarious.
Yeah. He is hilarious. All right, but you guys aren't here to hear us talk about our favorite podcasts or our traveling tips. This is the Flow Show. This is where Steve and I dig into unusual options activity and see if that can lead us down a rabbit hole into some interesting trades. So, Steve, why don't you pull up the old follow the flow chart and let's tell us what you got.
So we didn't do this last week, right?
Nope.
I missed all you guys. So I figured we would take it back, show last week's. There is a theme here. Bear with me. Last week's table. If we did do the show, what would I have talked about? This guy right here, silver, bullish call activity. Yeah, December 29th, they were hitting the $20 strikes going out to February 17th. Some good flow there. As you know, we've been very bullish precious metals. So we liked to see this. This supports our bullish thesis, right? Seeing options market participants put bullish bets on the assets that we are betting on. Love that. So we put a little trade on silver. And then this week, in line with the same precious metals bull market theme, GDX. Some bull flow in GDX. They went out to January 27th, hitting the 29 strikes.
Well, I love it. This supports a couple trades we've got on already. We talked about silver there. We have some very long leaps in SLV January 2025 call. How about that? We 2 years.
Yeah, and I love that trade.
So, yeah, it's working out so far. I mean, if I pull up the chart here on my screen, we got in somewhere around here back in early December, and it's moving our direction. It's not blowing the doors out, but that's fine. We've got 2 years for this thing to do what we needed to do.
Gold already, throw in GLD.
GLD. Wow. Look at that.
So gold's already going, making new highs. Silver's in this little holding pattern, or this little short-term bullish continuation pattern. Now punch in SIL. I think that gives you a good idea of where SLV is headed.
There you go.
Kind of emerging from that little continuation, little holding pattern there. I think that's what's in store for SLV. And I know you like the junior gold miners, GDXJ.
GDXJ, yeah. Just this week, earlier in the week, we sold some naked puts here. It's a bullish bet. It's not an aggressively bullish bet. And the reason why I didn't get aggressive, part of the reason why I didn't get aggressive is because, well, two reasons. Number one, I'm already long silver, which is a highly correlated trade. And two, the thing has had a good run already. It might be due for a pullback, which would not invalidate the longer term trend.
Right.
But I didn't want to get stuck holding a pullback. And I didn't want to get stuck, waiting out a pullback. So I sold some out of the money puts. I sold the 35 strike puts. So even a little pullback here will be fine. As long as it doesn't go below 35, we're good.
I wanted to wear my sell puts naked shirt.
Wait.
Yeah.
There it is.
You got it?
You see that? It's dark, but I am wearing it underneath my shirt.
Nice. Another one that we talked about. Listen, we're already long to the gills. precious metals. You just sold puts in GDXJ. If you like GDX, you could trade the common. 31 is that level. It's been that level for just about my entire career. We're back above it, hooking above this former resistance now, turn support, back above there. And we're trading it back towards about 46, the peak from 2020. But Warner Bros. Discovery also on our list.
Oh, that one is a sore subject.
Yeah, well, we can flip the book. We're allowed to do this, right? It's not illegal.
Yes. Yep.
We can change our minds. So got short Warner Bros. Discovery. What was that? Like a month ago?
Yeah, we got short somewhere around here when we had a little sell off and then came back up to the 50-day. I believe that's right around where we got short.
Started working and then stopped working very quickly, right?
Yeah, the past 2 weeks have told us that we are most likely very wrong on this trade.
You know what's interesting? Not only is Warner Bros. Discovery on our list this week, but also Paramount.
What's that ticker for Paramount?
Para.
Oh, something happening there in the digital streaming space. What's up with Netflix? Netflix is moving up too.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the reason we're saying this is because they're both companies whose revenue is derived, significantly from their streaming services. And Warner Bros. Discovery brought the chart along. I mean, look at this, just erupting off the lows. So yeah. There might be a flip it long opportunity here. I know you mentioned it before. You're dumpster diving for sure. I would like a higher short interest in a stock that's been down as much as this stock, only about like a 5% short interest. But there's something there. Options market participants seem to like this one now. Change their minds.
Yeah, depending on your time frame, it's hard to be a buyer right here after such a powerful move over the past 2 weeks. But you're right. This might be the beginning of carving out a solid long-term bottom here. I mean, the thing got killed, right? I mean, it was at $30 less than a year ago or a year ago.
Just go ahead.
Yeah. So it's come a long way down, and maybe this was it. Maybe this is the sign of the bottom. Unless you are positioning for a much longer time frame trade, like 6 months or longer, I probably wouldn't want to get long here. I'd want to wait for some kind of pullback. Of course, I might, wish that I didn't wait, but it's hard for me. It's hard for me to buy a stock that's up 40% in 3 weeks?
Almost 40. So I was just looking at the chart, and back in June, if you look at my chart here, we ripped about like 34, 35% here, and then just cratered, right? So now we're at about almost 40% ripping off the lows. Is it going to look like June and just fail, and keep collapsing lower?
I was going to say that looks pretty similar.
Yeah, it does, right? You got an overbought reading back in June too. Typically, when I see this kind of momentum off the lows, it's not so much that I want to be long names like this, but you want to be careful being short names that are that beat up and showing, significant upside momentum like this. It's up another 7% today.
Whew, baby. Oh. Well, the long puts that we have are, at least they're defined risk. We can't lose more than we paid for them.
Exactly. Would you ever do something, Sean, like leave the puts on for whatever reason and then put a long strategy on top of it? Or
well, in the situation here, the long puts that I'm long, let me see if I can pull it up here on my other screen. Well, forget it. That'll take too long. But I believe at this point that the puts that I'm long have very little value. They might have a nickel or a 10-cent bid at this point, which is fine. So
you just hold
them. At this point, you might as well hold them. They're lottery tickets, right? I mean, who knows? We might have another move that we had back in August after earnings.
Right.
And then those puts come back into play. But for now, they're pretty much dead money. So would I hold the puts and put on a new bullish trade? Sure, why not? There's no pain in doing it.
It's almost like you're looking at it like you're flat right now. It's almost like you have no exposure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. And then for gold, like for GDX, if you want to just flip back, a point that I wanted to make here. The Philadelphia Gold and Silver Index, showing it right here, XAU, can't trade it. It's one of those Philadelphia Stock Exchange indexes like SOX.
Like SOX,
back above these key prior cycle highs from 2016. right? Now, if you look at GDX, chart looks strikingly similar, but not, we're just there. This is exactly where you would want to get in. These are the 30 largest gold miners in the world, XAU. I think it's the US and Canada, right? So this is giving you a nice roadmap of where GDX is headed. You don't want to make the bet that GDX and XAU resolve in opposite directions. So XAU is moving first, kind of tipping the hat for where GDX could and should go.
Well, JC's been talking a lot lately about the good old days 15, 20 years ago when he was a gold bug. I was never afflicted with such an ailment. So this being extremely bullish on metals as a space, long-term bullish is a weird hat for me. It doesn't quite fit right. Still getting my head around it. It's interesting.
We look like such gold bugs right now, though.
I know.
3 separate editors at All Star Charts all wrote separate posts about gold yesterday.
Well, hey, in my defense, I key off of what you guys are trading. That's my jam. I get to cherry pick all of your best ideas to put options trades on. So of course that's going to happen for me, at least for me.
So if the trade doesn't work out, that's Sean disclaimer. Don't come talking to him.
Yeah, when the trade doesn't work out, I will send you to Steve Strazza to complain about, or Ian Cully to complain to him, or JC. It's their fault.
I'll send him to JC for sure. Yeah.
All right. So one thing that we talked about, or one thing that we've kind of unearthed while looking at the 2 most recent follow the flow options flow lists, is that, okay, great. Options flow is kind of endorsing our thesis, right? We're seeing a lot of things in the metal space that's just giving us more confirmation that, hey, we might be right, or at least other people with big money who are making bets that agree with us. So that's good. Yes. Feels good to have big money on our side. That aside, any other trades that popped in here outside of the metal space that we might want to pay attention to and look at?
So CCJ, fan favorite, uranium. I don't think it's very actionable here, the CCJ chart. I think it's a big mess. That's one that stood out. And then the other one would be CSX. So the railroad company was on our list twice last week, January 3rd and again January 4th, all the way out to March, the second time.
What strike are they buying? 42.5? No.
I'm not.
That doesn't look right.
It says 3. That's a typo. So yeah. 32 in January, and then this is, I'll double check that.
That's a typo. Right. Well, CSX, it's not the same area, but it kind of gets driven by some of the same trends. I mean, you're very bullish on deer. You're very bullish on cat. I feel like CSX is kind of a cousin of that area of the market. Yeah,
totally. Industrials are working. We would expect, participation to continue expanding. They're a big leader right now. So rails should catch some relative strength.
All right. So let's end. I'm throwing you a curveball here, Strazza. You always throw the curveballs at me and I improvise, but I'm going to throw one at you right now. I hope you're ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Gun to your head for all the YOLO fans out there.
Yeah.
If you had to go buy straight calls, just straight calls, maybe even short-term calls, maybe like a week to expiration, what would you buy right now? What's the favorite thing on the board for you?
Oh God, I don't know what premium looks like in this one.
Assume it's insanely high.
It's probably really high. You'll probably scold me for this. I get scolded for liking this stock all the time. Coinbase. I think Coinbase hooking higher. 41 is that level. There's a 25% short interest in this thing. Look out. Look out. The sell side is turning on the name. A really big bullish upgrade from Oppenheimer Co. this morning. The stock, or the company, announced that they're laying off another 20% of their workforce. Really like what's going on there. I'm being obnoxious about it. I like it a lot.
Ironically, stock markets always seem to enjoy headlines of layoffs. Where nobody else does, but the stock market likes it.
Layoffs.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I asked you about something short dated, like a week out, and Coinbase could be a good trade for that. But also, look, I mean, just looking at this chart, I mean, I feel like it would not take much for this thing to make a run back to 100, which is more than a double from here. I mean, we could get there. I feel like if this thing got ahead of steam, we could get there in 2-3 weeks. No problem.
If crypto survives, Coinbase thrives. That's it.
All right. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but let's just look into the options chain here real quick on
Premium's
Coinbase.
going to be nuts with the move it's made the past 2 days, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So let's say go medium term here, June options. So that's about 6 months expiration from now.
And that's a lot of time for a stock like this. You can get that level easy.
25 delta call. Yeah. The 25 delta calls, which, man, that's pretty far out. I mean, we're looking at a 75 strike, which is almost double where we're at right now.
How much are they? I don't have my glasses on.
Like about, you can buy them for about 285, it looks like.
That's not bad.
No, I mean, look, this would be an insanely aggressive bet, right?
Yeah.
But the bet you would make, at least the bet I would make if I was wanting to put this trade on, I would buy these June 75 calls. I'd pay, let's just make the math simple. Say I pay $3 for them, although it looks like we can get it for cheaper. Yeah. $3. If this thing makes a run to 100, which was what we were talking, it could possibly do. It wouldn't be that hard, I don't think.
And it's a 25.
Those calls would be worth 25 plus that we paid $3 for. So what's that? That's an almost 10x.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 to 10x on your money. Again, a very aggressive bet, but this is one of those names that maybe you can afford to be aggressive on. And look, if you just want to be a piker like me, I'm a piker all the time. You just want to buy one contract to play along. It's only going to cost you $300 to buy one call, and might be worth $2,500 if we get the run we think could happen.
I'm in a lot of the common right now. I might add that as a little kicker.
A little kicker. Hey, $300 is not a lot to risk, right? I mean, it's highly likely that the trade won't work out, but it doesn't mean you can't trade around it. Also, like, depending on how aggressive you are and how much you want to pay attention to it, you could buy these calls for $3, and if Coinbase makes a $10 move higher over the next week, maybe you'll sell some of them for $4, maybe some for $4.50, and then when it comes back down, you buy more, you trade around it. It could be quite a vehicle.
And here's the thing, right? There are far worse ways to bet on crypto. Like you can find a lot of worse ways. This is a real legitimate company with real profits. They're trying to do the right thing, shrink up their cost structure, weather this storm. They're an SEC registrant. I think, of all the crappy assets in the crypto space, if you are a believer in the long-term sustainability of crypto, I think this is a really good, sensible way to make that bet.
I do not disagree. I'd also throw Robinhood into that mix a little bit, because why not?
Sure. Robinhood is definitely a part of that conversation, but the difference is they're also an equity broker, right? So less of their revenues are derived from crypto. Coinbase is solely crypto. So if you're looking to make just a pure play crypto bet, I don't think there's anything better to give you that kind of exposure than Coinbase.
All right. So the big takeaways from our call today is, number one, the options flow in the options market continues to support our bullish thesis on metals, in gold and silver and all the related components of them. And if you want to get jiggy, if you want to get aggressive, if you want to take a flyer on something, on the crypto not dying, Coinbase might be the move. Maybe go out to June options,
This is June what? 75. June 16th? June 16, 75. All right. Yep. I'll reply to this thread when I get mine, but I'm going to get jiggy with it. So
there you go, Straza. Taking one for the team. All right, everybody. That's all we got for today. I'm Chicago Sean, the chief option strategist at All Star Charts. Steve Straza is the head technical analyst, head technical chartist, head muscle man, head driver, soon to be head traveler. Man, he does it all. Thanks for tuning in, Straza. Good day to you, my friend.
Can you do my intros on all my shows? That was good.
For sure. Anytime.
Later.